Most people plan their lives around safety and stability, but I plan mine around maximizing time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. And that meant escaping the 9 to 5, having my baby in Brazil, and building a life that most people told me was reckless. I want to be really clear about something before we get into this. I am not here to tell you having your baby abroad away from family is easy or that the digital nomad life is easy, but I'm here to tell you it's worth it, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like, the parts the highlight reels leave out, and the one decision that changed everything for me. For those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Danielle. I've been traveling full-time for years, visited over 65 countries, and I've built a multiple six-figure online content and coaching business. I run all of that from my laptop wherever I happen to be in the world. Right now, I'm doing it with a baby, and it's been just over a year since we welcomed him into our world. I gave birth last year abroad in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with my husband Rags, who is British, by my side. Before flying there during my 3rd trimester, neither of us have ever been to Rio, which is crazy to say out loud, but it was the best decision. I want to take you through the full story today because I get questions about this literally every single week. And now that it's been over a year, I can really reflect on my postpartum experience and what this has meant for us as a family. This video is for you if you're somewhere on the spectrum of, I want this life, but I have no idea if it's actually possible, especially if you're thinking about starting a family, or you already have one, or you're building a business and wondering how the nomad life fits into that. I want to start with a decision that many people have asked me. Were you scared? Yes, obviously, I was terrified, but not in the way that people assume. They think I was scared of being in a foreign country, or of not speaking the language, or of something going wrong medically in Brazil. But the fear I felt was different. It was the fear that I was making the wrong choice for other people's reasons. So let me explain. When I found out I was pregnant, this was in Japan, the advice came fast and most of it was unsolicited. Like, be near family, Brazil is so dangerous, C-sections are only for emergencies, this isn't the time for traveling and adventure. And I get it, that advice comes from love and care, but the thing is, home looks different when you're a nomad and when your husband is foreign. Rags would have had to leave the US after a few months, and I would have had to leave the UK if we chose either of our home countries. Rags and I had been traveling for years. Brazil was not a random choice. We had spent the pandemic in another part of the country. We had found a place where we felt grounded. We surfed there, we had a rhythm, and it would be summertime. So it's not like we just randomly threw a dart at a map and chose Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to have our firstborn son. So I had to ask myself a question that I want you to sit with too. Is the fear I'm feeling mine, or is it someone else's voice repeating in my head? Because there's a huge difference. My fear of giving birth abroad, when I actually examined it, was almost entirely borrowed. It was my family's fear and society's default setting. When I stripped that away and looked at the actual situation, good hospital, great healthcare system, my husband with me, living by the beach, my business set up to run remotely, I could hire night nurses and help. The rational case for giving birth in Brazil was honestly stronger than the case for going back to our home countries when neither of us had lived there for years. So we had our baby in Brazil, and it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. I had always known that I wanted an elective C-section, and Brazil is one of the best countries to have one in. My doctor was amazing. My team was amazing. I got to choose the date and time of my baby's birth, and there were absolutely no surprises. I scheduled the surgery at 39 weeks, and he was born in 41 minutes. I experienced no pain at all. I was cleared to start surfing again 6 weeks postpartum. I had built a business that didn't need me to be working all the time. I had passive income streams that sustained the Wanderlover through my months of maternity. That's what freedom actually means. What happens when real life hits and your business can support it? Which leads me to the next topic I want to talk about, the business side of this, because this is where I think people have the most confusion. The number one question here is, how do you keep a business running when you're pregnant or when you have a newborn without you showing showing up all the time? And my answer is you build it to run without you before you need it to. So this setup is not something you figure out in the third trimester. This is something you build from day one. When I started the Wanderlover Business Academy, when I created the Travel Influencer Handbook, Digital Nomad Society, I was thinking about this from the start. And I almost had to because I was traveling all the time. When you travel, your life is inherently inconsistent and unpredictable. You don't have the same desk setup every day. You don't have the same Wi-Fi. You don't have the same schedule or time zones. So I had to build something that could flex. Here's what that actually looked like for me. Number one, digital products that sell while you sleep. My courses and ebooks are always available for purchase, and they have marketing running to them 24/7. They don't require me to be available. Someone can buy the Travel Influencer Handbook at 3 a.m. in Tokyo while I'm surfing in Brazil. That's the baseline. Number two, content that makes money on autopilot. My blog and podcast provide monthly revenue because of advertising, and this is not something available on all platforms like Instagram doesn't offer this, for example. This is why I'm super intentional about building things with longevity and why I'm focusing so much on YouTube this year. So right now, recording and sharing YouTube videos will hopefully provide another income stream if I were to have another baby in the future. Number three, I was honest with my coaching clients. Private coaching and running masterminds is the one piece that requires me directly and requires me to be on camera one-to-one with my clients. And I was upfront with all of them. I told clients where I was in my pregnancy, and I didn't try to pretend I was Superwoman. People respect honesty more than you think. And here's the thing I want to say directly to anyone building a business right now. If your business can only run when you're 100% available, you don't have a business. You have a job. The whole point of an online business, especially the kind we build in this community, is that it gives your life room to breathe. It gives you the room to have a baby in Brazil, room to travel and enjoy life the way you want to. If you haven't built that flexibility in yet, that is the work, and that is the most important thing you can do this year. I want to also be honest about something else. It was not all smooth. There were weeks postpartum where I was just not functional as a new mother, where the baby wasn't sleeping or I wasn't sleeping, and I looked at my phone and the thought of writing a single email just felt impossible. And those weeks were hard because I was holding on to this previous identity of the person who has it together, and the reality was humbling me very quickly. I think a lot of creator moms, or honestly any parent building a business, carry this pressure to prove that they can do it all perfectly, simultaneously, and operating at the same level pre-baby. That pressure is a lie we tell ourselves. You have to build something that can hold you when you can't hold everything. That's the real lesson. So here's what the digital nomad life with a baby actually looks like now, because I want to give you the full picture and not just the highlights. One thing that comes to mind, airports and traveling is harder. You have a carry-on, a stroller, a baby who's decided this is the moment to start crying, and you're trying to get through security. It's a lot. I'm so thankful for my husband through all of the times we've traveled with our baby. The next thing, you will not be able to stop thinking about your baby. Your days and weeks and months and years revolve around your baby's feeds and naps and care, which means your priorities completely change whether you want them to or not. You definitely have less room to completely turn off. Your identity also shifts. I had been Danielle the traveler, Danielle the creator, Danielle the business owner for years, and suddenly I was also Danielle the mom. And those identities don't always feel like they fit together clearly at first. There's definitely a learning period where you're trying to figure out who you are in this new chapter. I had to do a lot of internal work to integrate all of that. Also, the judgment doesn't stop. People will always have opinions. Strangers on the internet have opinions. Family members who love you also have opinions, and you have to build a level of self-trust that is stronger than all of it. But here's the other side. My son is growing up watching his parents build something for themselves. He's going to know that work isn't a place you go to, it's something you create and design around your life while serving others. He's going to have a passport full of stamps before he can read his own name. He was born in Brazil with 3 citizenships. That's a part of his story, and I think it's so beautiful. Brags Rags and I get to raise him around the world in so many different cultures and ideas of what life is supposed to look like so that he's not confined to one way of thinking. He is active, he is outdoors, he is exceeding, and he's going to the beach every day and is just genuinely such a happy baby. And our mental health is so good as well because we are always in sunshine. That makes such a big difference. If you're watching this and you're somewhere at the beginning, you want this life, but you don't know how to build it, let me give you the framework. Step one is to build the income before you build the freedom. I see so many people quit their jobs and then try to build a business from a beach somewhere. That's doing it backwards. Build the income stream first, even if it's small or a few $100s a month from a digital product. Prove the model before you bet your life on it. Step two is to choose your base before you go fully nomadic. Rags and I didn't just wander randomly. We had bases, places we've returned to. Brazil was one of them. Having a base, a place that knows you, where you have community, where you can ground, where you can maybe leave some stuff, that changes everything. Step three, build your support system intentionally. Your village doesn't have to be geographic. My community is global. My clients, students, online friends, they showed up for me harder than a lot of people who live in my hometown. Build the community. Don't wait for it to appear. And step four, give yourself permission to redefine normal. This is the one nobody talks about. The biggest block isn't money. It isn't logistics. It's the story you've been told about what a normal life looks like. So a normal job, a normal hospital, normal family, normal neighborhood. You're allowed to write a different story for yourself and for your family. I am living proof. At the beginning of this video, I asked you a question. Is the fear you're feeling yours, or is it someone else's fear that you borrowed that you're replaying in your head? I want to leave you with that because most of the time when we stay small, when we play it safe, it's not our own voice telling us not to. It's accumulated voices from parents, teachers, society, algorithm comments from strangers. And here I am. I had my baby in Brazil. I run my business from my laptop. I surf, I travel, I build, and I'm raising a child who will grow up knowing that the world is his. That is the life I chose, and it started with one decision to stop borrowing other people's fear and start trusting my own vision. If you're ready to start building that, I'll link everything below: the academy, the handbook, the coaching group. Come and find us. We would love to have you join us. If this video hits something for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You never know who's on the edge of a decision that could completely change their life. I'll see you in the next episode.